Hey guys, thanks for checking out the video today. So today we're going to be going over the rear park brake assembly, replacing the emergency brake shoes, how that assembly goes together, pulling the wheel bearing out, and as well getting access to the bushings on the rear knuckle, which is aluminum, and dealing with that assembly. So while I have the whole rear end of the car out and I'm working on the diff and the four-wheel drive hydraulic system that sits on top of the diff, I may as well deal with the emergency brake assembly and rear wheel bearings and all of that sort of stuff as well, because it's out as well, so I may as well deal with it and try and freshen it up as much as I can, go through it, clean it up. That gives me an opportunity to kind of show you guys how everything comes apart and how everything goes back together, so it won't be such a daunting task if things like your emergency brake cable needs to be replaced or the rear wheel bearing needs to be replaced. So taking a look at some of the pieces that go with that rear assembly, there's lots of stuff here that could fail. A few of the items that you might need to pull out, we have the wheel bearing, and keep in mind that if you're going to be replacing the wheel studs, then this is a time where this could come out, and it would be easy to deal with these because you could put it on a press. Rather than beating them out and using impact to push them in, you could do it all on a press. So it's nice to have this out. This is the park brake assembly. Okay, so over here we have the parking brake adjuster, okay, which adjusts those brake shoes against the inside of the brakes, the brake rotor. And here we have a few springs. These are the spring pins that hold this assembly down. Here we have the dust shield for the disc brake so that you don't get rocks and stuff jammed in there. This as well, the center of it holds the parking brake. And here we have the rear knuckle with all the bushings that could fail. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bushings in there that could all fail. And as well, here is the park brake cable that is now completely removed. And it all comes out in one piece. It's just not super easy to get out without disassembling everything. So we're going to go over the disassembly process for this so that you guys can be comfortable with taking it apart, cleaning it, and putting it back together. All right, so let's get into that.
Hit me when I come, baby. Hit me when I come. Hit me when I
Okay, so let's get onto disassembling that hub, getting that e-brake assembly disassembled, and seeing how everything goes together here. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do is get these pins out for the e-brake. That's just a flat screwdriver. Push in, turn 90 degrees, and they should pop right out. And just pull them out with the spring. And put these aside. We're going to clean these up later. So you just turn the hub to get to them. Push in, turn 90 degrees, and up. Just let them gradually decompress so they don't go flying across the room. Okay, so you put these aside, however you want to keep track of them. I like stuff to go back together the same way it came apart. Now at this point, we've got to pull the springs off the bottom. There are spring compressor tools for drum brakes that you can use, or you can use good old-fashioned needle nose pliers. Now these do have a lot of tension in them, so just be a little careful. Turn the hub, give yourself some room, and they pop right out. Okay, so again, set these up so that you can remember where they are. So I'll be on the right side. Let me turn this a bit. Okay, another one out. Okay, pop out the plate that the springs rest on. Okay, then at this point, you're able to just grab onto the brake shoes, spread them a little bit. Pop them right out. Okay, now on the back, there is the lever that the e-brake attaches to. Because there's a lot of brake dust in there, it's a bit stubborn, but it sits in that relief right there. Okay, now you can keep this together. You have the tension adjuster for the e-brake, which you can clean it. We're going to clean up a little bit. We have the spring. This can just stay in an assembly. Doesn't really have to go anywhere. Okay, so there's one more little piece that's in here. Okay, keep that spring on there. This can be cleaned up. This is just part of the brake shoe assembly. Just so we can remember, we put it with the rest of the stuff in the same position that it would have gone in on. A lot of this is just keeping track of everything. Now, at this point, to get the dust shield off, remember the dust shield is sandwiched between the knuckle and the wheel bearing. We also have a large post that the e-brake assembly rides on. So that's right here. This has to come off as well. So let's flip this over. Okay, we got 5 bolts that we need to get out. Okay, this is going to require an impact. Okay, those are 19s. That'll be a 27. Okay, so 27. That's going to be out. Now we got the 19s that retain the wheel bearing. All right, so so the post for the e-brake assembly doesn't even need to be bumped or anything. It came off all on its own. So that will be out pretty easily. There's an alignment stud, so you don't have to be too concerned about keeping the orientation of this one. Let's put it in our parts pile here. Okay, we got a dead blow rubber assembly hammer. Give it a tap on the fasteners on the back of the wheel bearing. Okay, wheel bearing comes out. Very easy. That can be cleaned up, and we're also going to do the wheel studs while it's out. Okay, now we have the park brake cable off of the back of the dust shield. It is a single, I believe that's a 12 millimeter. Okay, so spring off the bracket, up, pop this out the back. Okay, and then Throw this on the stud just so that you don't lose it. And there we have the dust shield. Bark brake cable in one piece. And we're down to the knuckle here. So we're going to deal with the 4 bushings, clean this up, and yeah, for this just go backwards to reassemble. It's that easy. So behind the scenes, to make these videos possible, I've taken on a sponsor, and that is AFR AutoWorks in Red Deer, Alberta. So if you guys want to support the channel and you want to support vendors that support this channel and help me make videos, head on over to AFR AutoWorks store, check out some of their promotional items, maybe buy a hat, some gear, and whatever purchases you make will come back on me and this channel and help support me make videos. So if you do like the channel and you do like the content, make sure you support the vendors and the sponsors that support me and my channel. So head on over to AFR AutoWorks store. Thanks. Okay, so once you have that wheel bearing out, this is an ideal time to put in some extended wheel studs if that's what you want. Or to swap out the old ones that have been beaten up for 30 years. So this is a time where you're not going to be putting any pressure on the wheel bearing by smashing them out with a sledgehammer. You can just use a press and just push them out. Okay, so here I have them set up. I have the hub set up here in a press. Okay, so I have 2 pieces of steel here, and the stud will just be pushed out in between them. Just like that. Very, very easy. So this is really the time to do it. Instead of just smashing this thing and having it deflect like this, putting a whole bunch of pressure on the bearing. Same idea, you can put it back in like this. Just press the new one in. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so for my wheel specs, I do have GTR fitment, traditional GTR fitment, which is 18 by 9.5. However, I have wider front fenders. So what I decided to do was press out the old wheel studs and put in some plus 20 mil, and also use a plus 20 mil spacer. So it's a hub-centric spacer, so it has the hub built in and duplicates the GTR hub nicely. Okay, so that turned out really nice. So that's the spacer, and has the hub bore built in. So it's just duplicating the bore. And then I have the plus 20 mils now pressed in, and I finally figured out which is which. So the 14 millimeter shank goes on the front, and the 13 mil goes on the rear. So I put the correct shank size on the correct hub. So 13 to the rear, 14.3 I think it is on the front. So that's just a R32 thing, different size shank, so the top ridged bit that lodges itself into the hub and stops the studs from spinning when you torque them up. So it's nice to have some fresh studs on the hub. What that's going to do is it's going to mean that I don't have a chance of wrecking one of these pulling the wheels on and off, because the other ones were pretty beaten up. So this is the opportunity to deal with that. Okay, so I'm just working on pushing the bushings into the knuckle, and just some quick measurements that might come in handy. So this socket's a 22 millimeter, and it matches up perfectly with these little bushings, which there's 3 of them on this front knuckle, or sorry, rear knuckle. So the 3 would match up perfectly to a 22 mil. Now, getting them out, on the other hand, unless you want to get your 22 mil stuck, which is what I did, a 13/16 is a good size to push these out. So 22 to go in, 13/16 to go out. So that's something to know. Okay, so we got all the bushings replaced. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so on the front knuckle, one here, 2, 3. Okay, and then the 4th one is here, the bigger one. And keep in mind, it has a relief in it. I'm not sure if you could see that. It's right along there. Now, that's directional. So make sure you mark the old one, and make sure that this one is aligned. Because if you push this in, I don't think it's going to survive going in and out more than once. So be cautious of that. So that's all done. All right, so that's it for the brake shoes and the wheel bearings, all the rear assembly. I still have to do some of the arms, but this is where we're at for the rear subframe, diff assembly, ATTESA, hydraulics, all of that sort of stuff. So we're in good shape, moving ahead fairly quickly. So for the ATTESA hydraulic unit, some of the parts were able to be sourced new. Frenchie's Performance in Australia, we were able to order a pressure sensor, new accumulator from Nissan. Locally, I sourced some new hydraulic lines by bringing them the old one and getting them to fab up some new ones, so that worked out nice. A lot of cleaning, of course. I'm waiting on 2 lines from Japan, that being the feeds for the pump that run through here to the reservoir. So I'm waiting on those. But overall, it's going together quite nice. The next thing that we're going to be dealing with is cleaning up the suspension components, the rear sway bar, painting all the arms, double checking all the bushings, putting that all back together. But it is going well. And then we're going to start on the bodywork on the trunk floor, get rid of some of that corrosion and paint the bottom underside before putting this guy back in. So that's where we're at. All right, thank you guys for following along. If you are interested in the videos, I will eventually be at GTR Fest in Texas in November with the car. If you do enjoy the videos, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit that bell so that you're aware when I make some video posts to the channel here. As well, come check me out on Instagram at Wrench Rampage. Have a good night.